Hello, I'm Daz, and in DasCafe we serve good living. Today I will prepare pea soup. I want to prepare from scratch. So we have a lot to do. And after the cooking segment, because our show is in 2 segments, after the cooking segment we will have tips on good living, and today's topic is emotional health, dealing with your fears. So let's get going. Our very first ingredient is 1.5 cups of dried peas, and I'm going to put that in a nice saucepan. Probably a medium-sized saucepan would work for all the ingredients that we're going to add today. I like peas. It's a good source of protein, a good source of plant protein. With plant protein, with the exception of maybe soybeans, you don't have all of the essential amino acids. And when I say essential, that means we need those for growth. You need 9 amino acids for growth. And peas are a little low in one of them, so you have to add it with something else, maybe with cereal or rice. Would add it with that to make it a complete protein. And what I like about peas is it's colorful. You can use it as a vegetable on your plate or as a salad. You can use it in a soup. There are a number of things that you can do with peas. The next ingredient is shredded carrots. And I have about 1/2 cup of fresh shredded carrots. 1/2 cup of onions, chopped onions. And then I use McKay's chicken broth. And I like McKay's chicken broth. I like the taste of it. Plus, there's no meat derivatives, no meat, all vegetable source. And you use 1 dry teaspoon of the McKay's chicken seasoning to 1 cup of water. In this recipe, it requires about 3 to 4 cups of a broth. So I'm going to put a good 3 cups in there, and then I'm going to simmer this. When I start seeing the bubbles and it start to bubble, then I'll turn it down to low, and I will continue to cook the pea mixture for about 20 to 30 minutes until the peas are soft. Now I'm going to go back to that same saucepan that I put my vegetables in and cook them, and I'm going to make a roux. So that's 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of margarine, and 1 cup of non-dairy milk. You can go 1/2 cup of non-dairy milk, 1/2 cup of non-dairy heavy cream if you want it even creamier. Now I'm going to make a roux, and I will add that to the pureed vegetables. So to make my roux, I have 2 tablespoons of flour. I'll put that in my saucepan, the same saucepan that I cooked up the peas in. Why? More dishes. Then I will add 2 tablespoons of margarine. And then I'm adding 1 cup of non-dairy milk. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit at a time to kind of blend the flour and the margarine before just dumping the whole cup in. But that way you get a whole lot of clumps, and you spend so much time trying to get the clumps out. But with that fat mixed with the flour and just a little bit of the milk, I can cut back on making some of those lumps. Then I'm going to turn it up, have it on low. And I'll keep cooking this until the roux kind of thickens. And then when it thickens, then I'm going to add the rest of the blended vegetables to my roux. It's pretty smooth. The only lumps that I see are from the peas that were in there, because I didn't wash this out. I didn't feel like I had to because I'm going to put it all together anyway. But the roux is pretty good. So I'll add all of that. And that's about a cup of non-dairy milk. And I've got it on low, and I'll keep cooking it until it kind of thickens up. And I'm going to add about, just maybe a half a teaspoon of salt to the roux, and about a fourth of a teaspoon of the cayenne pepper. It's to your taste. You want more salt? You want more cayenne pepper? It's to your taste. It's nice and creamy. I like that. Nice and creamy. Real smooth. You can make pea soup yourself. It's good. Here it is. It's a labor of love. Nice, rich, and creamy. This would go well with my spoon cornbread. So see the show on old Southern style spoon cornbread. This and this cream of pea soup, a winner. Enjoy. Enjoy. So stay tuned. We will talk about emotional health and dealing with your fears. Okay, in this segment, we're going to talk about emotional health, dealing with your fears. And let me just start off by saying we all have fears. The most accomplished person had fears and still have fears. But they do something that is unique to keep them moving on and staying on the path. So I want to talk about fears because it can cause you to panic, to be immobile, and to limit you, and we don't want that. Fear. I see fear in two categories, good fear and bad fear. Good fear is your parents tell you, don't touch that hot stove, don't run out in the street, you know that cars are there, you may get hit. That fear is to protect us. And then there's that bad fear. The bad fear is when we hold on to things, and this kind of fear can immobilize us, keep us from reaching our potential. That's not the fear that we want. I remember when I was in high school, I had to give a presentation on Marie Antoinette, and I waited to the last minute, procrastinated, and it's time to give the presentation. I didn't know what I was talking about. I was awful, but I was determined at that point that I would never be unprepared like this again. And I can say, moving forward, I modified my behavior, and I've given speeches, public speaking, presentations nationwide, and I have always been prepared. I turned that fear into a good fear, which made me look at myself, come up with a new plan, work that plan, and move forward. I remember listening to an interview the other day on Barry Manilow for the young people. He was a popular musician, singer in the 70s and the 80s. Well, he tells about it took a while for his career to get going, but he was very comfortable and was doing fairly well behind the scenes, writing jingles for commercials, directing and producing. He didn't see himself as center stage, but he got an opportunity to be center stage where he had to sing, and he was fearful. But he thought about his end goal and what he wanted to do, which was increase his territory. And with that, focusing on the end goal versus focusing on his fears, he was able to move forward. And now we know him worldwide as the man who writes the songs. And that is Barry Manilow. I think he's coming back now and is working on a show even now. So he's had an awesome career. Another thing when dealing with fears, you want to have cheerleaders in your inner circle, people who will applaud you and support you for you to move forward. And that's what you want to deal with your fears. Now, Michael Jordan shares that he missed 9,000 shots, lost 300 games, 26 times, was trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. He said, I failed over and over again. But we don't think about his misses. We don't think about his failures. We think about success. But I would say this, Michael Jordan did not allow his fear to be a bad fear. He turned that fear of all of those losses, of all of those failures into a good fear, which modified his behavior, which caused him to be on that court practicing and studying and practicing until he is the winner that we know him to be. You see, a winner never quits and a quitter never wins. I'm Das, and I'll see you next show.